Artemis Titanic, White Star's black sheep. Now most of you have only heard of Titanic because of its sinking and nothing else, but that's not the only bad thing that happened on the ship. Before it sank all the way back in 1910 or so, Titanic was still under construction in Belfast, Ireland. She stood at a whopping 17-story building from keel to deck. Her construction was also plagued with incidents such as people who have fallen off the scaffolding or had Titanic's rivet fall down and smash their skull in. This is the tragic tale of Olympic's famous sister. Titanic's construction began 3 months after Olympics. The construction of Titanic commenced in 1909 in Belfast shipyard. The work was heavy and hazardous, and in the early 1900s, health and safety was thrown out the window as it is totally absolutely useless and does not need any modifications at all. This came with serious consequences as not before long, one of the men working on the Titanic fell off the scaffolding and into his own death. And then more fell off, and one unlucky fella also had his head smashed in with a falling rivet. In total, 8 people died. The total amount of incidents that happened throughout Titanic's construction was around 246. Like I said, safety was totally at utmost priority, but still on her launch day, she was launched smoothly into the river. Though not as celebrated as her older sister's launch, the Olympic, many still came to see the enormous Titanic be launched. Afterwards, Titanic was towed into the fitting out basin, and soon all her interiors would be installed. Though this process didn't go as smoothly as one would hope, as in the 28th of September 1911, her older sister, the Artemis Olympic, collided with a Royal Navy cruiser called the HMS Hawk. This delayed Titanic's sea trials, and to add insult to injury, Titanic had to lend one of her propeller blades to Olympic, as Artemis Olympic herself lost or damaged one of hers. Photographed here is the two sister ships docked right next to each other after the Hawk collision. This photo has sparked up a few conspiracy theories which me and numerous other ocean liner and Titanic enthusiasts out there have debunked over and over. So don't even try to throw that switch theory crap on me, as it won't work. As I was saying, Titanic and Olympic were virtually identical, but some parts of Titanic were changed or altered, such as the B-deck promenade and other numerous spaces on the ship, which I will go over later. This deck was not enclosed on Olympic and was widely unpopular on Olympic. These spaces were converted into additional first-class cabins, including 2 opulent parlor suites with their own private promenade spaces. The a la carte restaurant was also enlarged, and a new restaurant was added onto Titanic, the Café Parisienne. The Café Parisienne wasn't an addition to Olympic until she was later retrofitted in her career. With all these additions, this made the Titanic slightly heavier than her older sister, the Olympic, thus making her the world's largest ocean liner. Once the interior decor, engines, and funnels were installed, Titanic's sea trials could finally begin. Her sea trials began at 6 a.m. on Tuesday, April 2nd, 1912. Just 2 days after her fitting out process, although the sea trials were also plagued with problems as it was delayed due to bad weather. But by Monday, the weather finally cleared up, thus commencing the start of Titanic's sea trials. The sea trials weren't anything that special. They performed the usual crash, stop, turn radius, and top speed of Titanic. Basically the same thing Artemis Olympic, Artemis Britannic, and Lusitania would have done during their sea trials, if they had any sea trials. Once all the sea trials and tests were done and over with, the maiden voyage could finally begin. Hope you enjoyed part 1 of this documentary. Make sure to check out part 2 whenever it's out, and I'll see you on the next one.